determining whether everything would all the time would be day or it would be night. There is stories in that we can only share during the winter months, and it is that the stories of the trotting coyote and the stories of other creatures in that. And this is in respect for the creatures that hibernate. We can talk about them while they're hibernating. The story that involves the agreement to have day and night is the telling of the story and the playing of the shoe game. And that's all the shoe game is the story of determining whether everything would all the time would be day or it would be night. The story is told of how the animals that were favoring the daytime all the time were at the game, and then those creatures and that wanted nighttime were also at the game. And so they divided up between the day animals and the night animals. But coyote, as you might recall, is symbolic of the five-fingered being, or the humankind. He, of course, wanted to have it either night or day. He had no preference. When the game was being played and the night animals were winning, he would go over there and join the winners. And then when the other team was winning, he would go over there and sit amongst them. And that's pretty much how we are. We always like to be with the winning team. The story is told of how the shoes are buried into the ground. There's 4 shoes on the east side and 4 shoes on the west side. And they're kind of buried in the sand. And they have a yucca ball that's a token that you actually hide in one of the 4 shoes when your team is doing the hiding, and the other team has to come across and they have to guess which shoe contains the token. And when they win, there are 102 yucca stems that are used in the game. And so every time that one of the teams guesses where the token is in one of the shoes, they win a certain number of yucca stems. When all the yucca stems are won by one team, then the game is officially over. But in this particular story, there are all these different animals that have different songs and different information that they have about them as they get together and they sing these songs. Songs are in reference to some of these creatures and animals. And so there are a number of different songs on that are sung. About the mountain lion and the badger and the crow and other creatures as well. There is no limit as to how they play the game. It even tells about the cheating. The owl, they didn't put the token in the shoe, they put it into the owl's hand during the course of the game. And the opposing team kept losing because they couldn't guess which shoe contained the token until they had a special investigator that went up and dug underneath the ground and checked out all the shoes from underneath and determined that there was no token in any of the shoes. And so they all speculated that one of them had the token in their hand, and so they all agreed it was the owl. And so rather than coming across when they were required to come and select a shoe, they smacked the owl's hand with the stick, and out fell the token. But that's only just one of the stories in that of how the game was played with the cheating and all. In the shoe game, as the game concluded, neither one of the teams won the game, and so they agreed to make it so that it was half night and half day, and that was determined by the shoe game. And of course, the morning of the shoe game, as it was concluded, all of the animals had the opportunity to paint themselves with the different colors and designs and that they wanted on their bodies. And so all of the birds and that picked the prettiest colors and colored themselves very pretty. The crow, he was kind of left out. He wasn't at the start of the painting, and so he came in last, and the only color that was left was black, and that's what he painted himself. And then the story about the bear, he was asleep during much of the game, and so when he woke up, he was still very groggy and sleepy, and he put his shoes on the wrong feet. So when you see the bear tracks, you notice that his toes point out, and so that's because he put his shoes on the wrong feet. And then of course the bear also was very late, and so he was the last one to go over the top of the mountain. As he was clearing the crest of the mountain, the sunlight hit him and singed the ends of his fur, and so you have the grizzly bear, the light color on the ends of his fur. And that is pretty much the way the shoe game is played, and the stories and that, and the purpose of it being the determination of whether we would have continual day or continual night. That's the shoe game, and that's what we are told.